Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. And I know this is an international call, so hopefully everybody can hear us and you can see the charts. So welcome to the Candle Charts Markets of Choice. And I'm Brian Houston. I'm going to be your host today. And we're going to run through some good markets. And I know a few people have suggested a couple of markets, so that's great. And we're going to get to them. So of course, this is brought to you by mycandlecharts.com. And we do this on a regular basis, really. So first thing we need to talk about is our risk disclosure. This we have to do by law. And again, this talks about the risks of trading any type of security. It's found at candlecharts.com/disclosure. Make sure you understand the risks of your trade prior to entering. There's no point entering, there's no point buying anything because you're not losing anything if you're not getting in on a good trade. Okay, so at My Candle Charts, for example, we talk about charts all the time, 5 days a week. And sometimes we even do it on Saturdays even. So we've got lots of opportunity to go through different charts and charts of your choice even on our strategy sessions in particular. But here we go. We're going to start off actually with, well, the triple Qs. I thought, well, we can't miss that. It's been such a bullish market. And I've put in two lines here. We've got a magenta line on the top, and we got one on the bottom here. And look at that. Lines up beautifully. Look at that. We had a hammer here. We had another good retest there. It wasn't a candle pattern, but it was a nice bullish pattern. And again, look what happens when we keep coming up to the upper trend line. We start to get all these negative signals, bearish engulfing, evening star, dark cloud cover. Yeah, market's only going sideways. But again, what we teach and what we tell you, 5 days a week, we do market recaps. We talk about these type of signals and potentially what it means. Because again, it's a snapshot in time, isn't it? So right now we're looking at the NASDAQ and well, we're at the upper envelope edge here. You can see that. And if I was going to be buying, I'd probably be looking somewhere down here. Yeah, it's going to take some time. It's not down there right now, but we are in an exceptionally bullish trending market right now. Going sideways for the last number of days. In fact, last number of weeks, but it is still a bullish trending market, and overall it is. Okay, let's move right along here. We're going to take a look at SPY, which is the ETF for the S&P 500, and is not too dissimilar really to the triple Qs, the NASDAQ. Again, very, very bullish market. We got these nice little trend lines that I've just drawn in here, and again, you can see we had good old resistance here. Change of polarity becomes potential support. And support and resistance are only as good as they are until they're broken. So someone may call it a support line, and it is until we break through it, and then it's not a support anymore. But again, look at, and if I draw a little line in here, you can see again we're creeping in the up direction. It's a lot of work right now, but nonetheless, the market is still very, very bullish. And in fact, where are we? We're right in the middle of those two trend lines. So again, the market is still absolutely bullish in its direction. We're still getting a lot of good positive signals every time we pull. See, when we pull down here, a nice bull sash. That green candle is known as a bull sash. And it's not just the name, but it is the force of that candle that looked very, very handsome. And again, we came up and now we've been going sideways. So why not? Another bull sash here. You don't always get bull sashes at the lower session. There's another bull sash right there and a piercing pattern back here. A lot of great opportunity. You've got to know how to trade. You've got to know where your good entry points are. If I was looking at the market today, would I be entering? Not really. Not from a daily candle perspective. Because as I say, we're in the middle of the channel. You got to have patience and let the market come back to you. And hopefully you can get one of those nice bull sashes to turn it around. So again, we talk about that 5 days a week. We do a market recap and we go through a lot of these markets and more even. And of course, you get a chance to ask your own questions and suggest your own markets. And there we go, crude oil. Again, still on the daily charts. So I've got a couple of different lines. Got some nice, well, potential resistance here. And it was acting as decent resistance here. And over here becomes a potential support. So again, you can see we came back to it. Again, nice bull sash there. Very handsome. That was yesterday. So again, today, yeah, we got a little bit of red candle, but we're still up from yesterday's open. In fact, we're up from Monday's open as well. It looks like we're about the same point. Yeah, actually, we're about the same point of where we even opened on Monday. And of course, we're above where we closed. So again, looking at the low of the day, which is the shadows, but we're still reaffirming that area to be a good potential support. So again, we've been very aggressive here, very bullish in nature, right? We had a little pullback, and that's just a little one. Again, fairly aggressive. That's pretty much the same angle as we had back here. So I put an equal sign there. Those are the same. And again, so we've had a good pullback. We may need to have a little bit more pullback. Really, I'm looking somewhere in here. So yeah, somewhere between 58 and 62. If oil came down there, I'd be really, really happy. Hopefully find a real good buying opportunity. So right now, yeah, it looks like we're having a little bit of pullback, but what I'm looking for is good opportunities to buy. So yesterday, yeah, we had a bull sash. Wasn't quite convinced we had actually had the better sell-off that I've been looking for. And I think tomorrow, hopefully we can find out more as to whether we're going to drop down a bit more or go back in the up direction. All righty, let's move on to gold. And I know somebody also wanted GLD. So gold, this is gold futures actually. So we look at gold futures. There's a few people that want to trade GLD, which is an ETF. And there's other products as well that are related to gold. But again, gold would be the master in that case. So again, we had nice high up here, pretty much a double top, and a lower high here. We got a lower high here. So again, we stepped down largely here, big drop here as well. But again, I already had a mark down here for good potential support. Look at the lower shadow. That's exactly where it came. This is what we tell you and teach you at mycandlecharts.com. So this has actually turned into, it's a 3-candle pattern, but we got a morning star. And it's also a bullish engulfing, but it is a morning star. Really like those candle patterns. And let's just take a little look-see on this. And we'll zoom this one back a little bit more. No, there we go. So that's a year's worth of data. And yes, we came down. Yes, we came up, and very aggressively. Again, we've come down and we've come back down and retested this whole support area. If this morning star can hold, looking for some bullish energy, maybe coming up towards 1840, that would be a good point of resistance. We have to get through this area here. You see, again, this acted as a support, which now becomes a potential resistance. We're not far off of it. If we can get through that, then I'm looking up to the 1840. And then the next point would be around the 1910. And that was a very well tested and decent resistance area. So hoping that we can sort of scoot right back up there. But again, waiting for us to get through, safety first, waiting basically to get through this blue line right here. Kind of a key one right now. So gold, silver, they've been fairly similar. They've been beaten up quite a bit, but just because they've been beaten up doesn't mean they're now going to go in the up direction. Okay, here we are on GLD. So it'll be acting a little bit differently, but of course it's all going to be related to gold itself. And there we go. GLD down, gold came down exactly the same way. Yes, we came back up. And it looks like this actually had a little bit better recovery here. And then we've dropped, pulled up, and we've come down. So I'm kind of liking this better because again, we made a slight higher low than we had here. They're looking a little bit more bullish. We do have the morning star. We had a counterattack here as well. So what am I going to say here? Really, okay, so we're trending in the down direction here, trying to turn it around. But again, we've come back down again. Looking for a little bit better confirmation here. So again, if I draw that little line across there at 164, again, we had a nice pivot point there, or maybe 165. That may act as a bit of resistance. For me, I'm a little bit more conservative. I want to see a little bit more of a breakout through there. And I'll be looking up to here, hopefully grab some quick profits, see what happens in here, and then hopefully we can shoot up again, pretty much exactly like I said with gold. So again, looking for force and aggression. And so, as I say, so far we've had a counterattack that was yesterday. Today has turned into a morning star. The market's not quite closed, but at this point it has turned into a decent morning star. So my initial target there, secondary target there, is really almost identical to the gold itself, gold futures. So I know we got a few people out there trading the cryptos. So here we go. Unfortunately, there's not as much data as I have for Ethereum, but we'll zoom that in a bit for you and have a look on a smaller scale. So there's our low. So you got a couple blue lines in here. Again, we had a little bit better support here. We had a little bit of resistance in here. Look at that, turned into support right in the vicinity. Nice morning star. And again, we did take off. Strong angle. And look at the green. I mean, very, very green. It's a very, very aggressive market again. So it's done exceptionally well. So, you know, again, we had a nice high here. We had a lot of shadow here. That's why I was selling here. And then we had a falling window and we couldn't break back through that falling window. And sure enough, we just kept falling down, down, down. And now we've got a decent turn here. Again, retested those lower shadows and we've turned back up. So really, you know, again, looking for potential resistance around the $3,600 area. As I say, that's right back in where that window is. We had a rising window there and then we had a falling window there. Something Steve talks about, the island top. So again, got to watch these things. Windows are quite powerful. And of course, we look for good candle signals, look for the force of the candle. That was a pretty forceful red one. And sure enough, yeah, we just kept on coming down. No trade is going to be perfect, but again, you've got to know, why am I getting in? And where's a potential target? Had I been going short Ethereum at this point, yeah, I'd have been looking around here for a potential target. Well, we went a little bit lower. And that's why that line's down there. Now, yeah, now being long here, yeah, we're doing well. We've had a little pullback. We're still pushing up, pushing up. As I say, looking up towards 3,600. Okay. Anybody out there looking at Bitcoin? At least one or two, I'm sure. But here we go. And I know there's a little bit more data actually on Bitcoin, so I can put that back out a little bit. How about that? There we go, grab my pen. So again, you know, when we were coming up, yeah, we started to flatten off here. Yeah, we went up here, falling window, danger sign. Yeah, we fell, and we came back up and retested that window. And again, we did not close it, and we fell hard. And no, I had a blue line in here around the 30,000 for quite some time. Again, we talk about Bitcoin 5 days a week. And again, look at that. We had potential support right here. And again, sort of retested right within this area. So again, well-tested area. It's exactly where we hit with a hammer. Now, the hammer actually didn't turn up, but it was a very aggressive downward moving market. So yeah, we came sideways. So again, you don't just buy on the candle patterns. You got to know a little bit of Western technicals as well. And so we did come along here. And the longer we come along here, the more excited I was getting, because we were sitting right on the line with a bullish engulfing. And again, yeah, we shot up like a rocket and boom again. And there we go. We have a falling window there. And that's where we've basically come to. We're right within that vicinity. So again, looking for a little bit of resistance coming up here. If we break right through that window and literally break the windows, we'd probably be looking right up to there, just a little bit above where we are. Well, then I'll be looking up towards potentially 60,000 as my next target / potential resistance area. And I'll be assessing the candles as we're going up. Now, this was a nice big one. We like it. They've been getting a little bit smaller here, a little bit of upper and lower shadow. Today's candle is a little bit getting small, and that's what I'm saying. We're coming into a window area. We might need some time before we break through. Okay. There, let's, somebody did ask for the Australian and the US dollar. Yeah, let's have a little gander at this puppy. So it's been interesting actually, and tell you what, we'll zoom out a little bit more. For some reason, my lines have dropped off. Don't know what happened. There we go. Oh, yeah, they're just on the top. So there's on a weekly chart actually. Again, you can see nice, good old resistance up here, close to 82 cents. And this was actually off the chart. We had some decent support here at 68 cents. Let's come back into our daily chart here just to see exactly what the heck's going on. And I'm going to actually, there we go, get a full year's worth of data on there. And came up to a nice high here, bear sash in this time. Well, yeah, we came down, but you don't come straight down, do you? We had to retest. That's a retest. Left shoulder, right shoulder. Yeah, retesting the right shoulder, and then we've dropped. So far, look at that, I just put a line there. Well, we're in a downtrending market right now. I'm going to look on this chart and tell you what, I'll throw in one other line for later, and I'm going to keep that line on there as well. So around 70 cents is my support area, my next major support that I'm looking towards. May also be a good target as well. As I say, we have started to come down. We've been going sideways here. So I would only put in like a little bit of line in here to say, yeah, we're going sideways. And right now I'm looking at that saying, we're in a little bit of a box range, but it's not a nice box range from a daily perspective, because literally we're getting one red candle, two little green candles, you know, and a couple red and a couple green. it's very difficult, that one. So again, right now, it still looks like it's in the downtrending market. So again, what would I look for? Well, I can look for a good breakout here to the upside. And then, I'll probably put a target up there around $77, $78 or sorry, cents. And when or if we break out to the downside, I'm going to be looking ultimately towards 70 cents. And it doesn't mean I'm going to hold it that long. And again, we do a lot of conversations on the My Candle Charts recaps, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, even on Saturdays, we have different sessions. And of course, we got a casual trader session as well. So again, we talk about force, we talk about the candle patterns. And of course, in a downtrending market like this, as aggressive it is, I'd be careful at looking at the bullish signals, because again, we're still very, very negative at this point. So even though, again, we're in a little bit of a sideways box range here, if we get a breakout, but I'd be putting a stop loss probably on top of the breakout there if it was decent enough, big enough size. Then we got, as I say, we had a little bit of support in here, 76, really looking up towards the 78, but it may be just a short breakout. And so again, we don't expect the markets to carry on forever and ever and ever. Okay, there we go, on to the Euro US. Let's take a little look-see here. Again, we had a nice nice resistance there, lower high here. And again, that sort of lined up with this high that we made over here. And then we fell like a rock. And I was kind of expecting it because nice bear sash, nice shooting star. And it's not because they were nice looking candle patterns, but they happened at a good potential resistance area. We'd already been there. So again, you got to use the Western technicals plus the Eastern, the candle patterns. So yeah, we did fall hard. We fell well. Well, we had a pivot point here where we came down and spring, we bounced up. And that's exactly where we've come into right now. Bullish engulfing candles so far today. That looks decent. And if I was going to enter on that right now, I'd have to put my stop loss basically at 117. That would be the area that I'd want to put on. If we break down underneath it, then I'm looking down towards 116. Possibly lower, but initially towards 116. But if we keep going in the up direction, well, I'm going to be looking towards the 119 and a half shortly. And ultimately maybe around the 122 and a half. Longer term trend, I think it's going to go higher, but we've been building in a good base down here and it's been doing very, very well. So again, it's the question really of, is this the potential turning point? Because again, we're in a downtrending market. So potentially we've got some good bullish energy here. I'd like to see some confirmation. So again, if I entered here, I'd want to have a fairly tight stop loss in case it really isn't ready to go just yet. And if I take a small loss on that, that's fine. We can always get back in over the next few days or weeks, whenever it may want to actually turn around again. Okay, German DAX. Now, German DAX has been interesting because it's been quite aggressive as well. And there you go. There was one of the big dumps around 11,500, and we're already back up to 15,825. So again, we shot up, a lot of sideways activity, shot up again, a lot more sideways activity. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the 5th month. So it's been 4.5 months that we've been going sideways. Yet we're creeping in the up direction, still coming right into that potential resistance area. So again, got to be careful of where we are right now, and that's why I'm not actively trading the German DAX, because we seem to be just hanging around that resistance area. Again, if we had a decent pullback to here and around this area, I'd be really happy. But right now, so again, I could even draw this back here, square it off a bit, and say, oh, well, yeah, we're kind of in a box range. It's pretty boxy. As I say, we're still out of resistance. If we break out and have a solid breakout, like it looks like it may be trying to do today, then I'll look to points higher. Maybe towards 16,500, somewhere in that vicinity would be a potential target. But again, it's record high territory, like a lot of a market. So again, we've got to be trading the candle patterns. We've got to be a little bit more careful of the size, shape, and the feel of them. So what does that all mean? Well, we're going to look at this was a good forceful green candle here, not too much upper shadow. This is a little bit smaller. Got a fair amount of upper and lower shadow. So again, I have a little bit of uncertainty right now. Yes, we've broken above that blue line with a little bit of a but. Again, we had a lot of uncertainty from the upper shadow had some sell-off, and we had a little bit of, big sell-off at one point, and the bulls came in and shoved it up. So there's been some good news. Can the news sustain itself? Well, we have a breakout. We are trending in the up direction, so that's the good news. And it's the question of whether your risk tolerance would accept this or not. As I say, we're right in that resistance area, and a resistance area or potential resistance is just that. It's not to the penny, and it's got to be treated with a little bit of artistic flair and a little bit of relaxation to understand that, maybe that's the real resistance. Maybe resistance was back here. I'm going to leave it at that upper shadow where I had it because I liked it there. And looking at that, as I say, I'm a little bit cautious. It is still bullish, but as I say, we've been going sideways for 4.5, almost 5 months. I'm going to be careful. And possibly we come up and we need to have a little bit more pullback. So let's move on to XLK. Oh, boy, we're getting through the markets here tonight, aren't we? So XLK, again, that's an ETF in the US. I'm going to zoom that back. There we go. Just basically 1 year's charts. And I'll grab my little marker pen again. So again, nice angle here. Nice little pullback. Again, see, we had resistance here. Change of polarity. Well, it actually worked. It saved itself as support. That's where we bounced. Went off again. And we had another good pullback here. And then we shot up again. So yeah, we've had a bearish engulfing candle. Not too huge. I had a couple more red candles, so we've been pulling back on XLK. If I was going to look for support again, we had a window here, plus that little pivot point. Possible support right in that vicinity. Next area would be there. I did like this blue line here just underneath the 140. So we've got 3 potential areas. It looks like the market wants to have a little bit of pullback. So again, 155 is really looking at, I'm going to throw an R up there as my main resistance, main target for returning to. But right now we're getting red candles. And as long as it's red, I'm looking for the market to come back to potential support areas. And that for me, that's first and foremost. So I'm looking here, do we get a bounce or do we break through? Okay, if we break through and come down a little bit lower, I'll be looking down towards 142. Do we get a bounce or another breakthrough? And again, I want to see something that's decent and got decent force. Nice candle pattern and nice force. Okay, good old Facebook. And this is the thing here. Look at all of this sideways junk that we had here on Facebook. This was for quite some time. This was a box range. Yeah, a little bit of upper shadow there. Boom. Then finally we did come up with a high wave candle and we shot up. But don't be afraid that you didn't miss anything. Nothing at all. We had a nice pullback. We had a retest of that area, and there's your hammer. There is the most perfect expression of a hammer because we had turned in the up direction. We pulled back. We had a hammer. Then we shot up, and then we shot up again. And in fact, if I look at these lower areas here, we're still in a bullish trend. I could put a line up there. There's a nice channel. We're still going in the up direction. We're coming down towards this lower channel line, if you will. And so right now, I'm going to be looking for a green reversal pattern, some decent candle pattern that gives me confidence that the market may want to move up higher, in which case, yeah, I'll be looking up towards 380, maybe even a little bit higher. Now, I think we had somebody asking about Nifty. Indian stock market. Let me just bring over a different chart, but I had been looking at that earlier. So tell you what, we're going to zoom back. Yeah, we'll zoom back miles. Now, again, with the Nifty, and it's kind of interesting, it's been very choppy. A lot of good trading opportunities. So again, yes, we came up, spent a lot of time going sideways. Yeah, and then we popped up again, pulled back. So again, up. Nice drop. That was the COVID drop there. Like most markets, even Bitcoin had that big drop. And again, look at where we are right now. And I'll take the little spotlighter off there. And if I zoom that in to sort of, yeah, right there. So there's the COVID drop on the bottom left side of the screen here. Well, and look what the market's done. Yes, we've come. That was I think our old high. That was around here. We did a little bit of testing that. We broke out. We came up. So again, we shot up, nice angle. Pretty much a continuation of that angle. Again, and we had a little bit of relaxation, came up, and we're going sideways again, hammer in here, and I can see we've started to come back up. But again, we've had like 4, 5, 6 days going sideways, but we are still bullish trending, aren't we? So the market is still going in the up direction. We don't have a large or strong pattern indicating downward activity just yet. And there we go. We'll zoom in so we can see a little bit more. There we go. That's just zooming it in a little bit more bright and beautiful. Beautiful hammer. And again, hammer here coming in at a potential support. Held. And sure enough, that was the decent turning point. And we came up. And as I say, 2-4. We have 5 days of going sideways. We've got dojis, high wave candles. There's uncertainty. There's indecision here. Absolutely. We still have the pandemic. People are questioning interest rates. So again, yeah, I do look at some of the news, but to be honest, I spend more of my time focused on the charts and I look at the key times of the day, and that usually tells me what's going on more than knowing that interest rates went up by 0.1% or something like that. That doesn't help me. I want to know what everybody else thinks about it. So that's exactly what we talk about at mycandlecharts.com is what are the candle patterns suggesting at this particular point in time? This particular time in the middle here, we were going sideways and we just didn't have a lot of certainty. We weren't going down, we just weren't going up. And as I say, we have popped up again now. We've got a lower shadow, but again, we haven't broken out of the, what's that, 16,352 area. And I think if we can get a decent close above that, hopefully we can propel ourselves a little bit further in the up direction. Abid, I see you've asked for the sterling. Yeah, we didn't get that prepared, but do you think we could take a look at it for you? Why not? Tell you what, and we'll throw this quickly here on the weekly. I like to have a quick look at the weekly. And as you can see, I got some fancy lines on here, yeah, because I've looked at it a few times. Keep your lines on the charts. So overall, again, when I zoom back out here, this is going back to 2015. Yeah, we made a nice low there. It looks like we're turning in the up direction. But again, this blue line, and I'll use my spotlighter here. Look at this. Nice potential resistance there. Well, we've come into that area. We've pulled back. So do we need to come back? This was a good resistance area here. Potential support down around 132.5. Do we need to come back there? Well, possibly, and it depends how you want to trade it. So let's zoom in a little bit more on this one. And again, look at this. You do everything: Bitcoin, the cryptos, the equities, the indices, and of course the currencies, the FX and the futures. You analyze them exactly the same way, and we do that 5 days a week or more. Look at all these points. Again, all the resistance we had here. Flump, we fell down. Again, potential support here. We came down lower. Okay, we've come up. So I'd look for potential, and I'd say minor support, but I'd look in this vicinity for some minor support. Look where we stopped today. $1.38. Yeah, you might have put it down a little bit lower, but somewhere in this vicinity. I like to say, I'm a man, I like bodies. I like the bodies of the candle. I do look at the shadows, but I do like the bodies. And so today, yeah, we've got a green candle. It's not a particular candle pattern, but looks potentially like we've started to come back in the up direction, haven't we? Because we broke through that and we've come back up. We've retested this. So looking at this, if I was buying and going long on this today, again, $1.38 is where I'd be putting my stop loss. Yeah, I've got a little bit of minor resistance here around 139.50. And then the next point looking up towards 142. Good opportunities on here. So I think that was almost what we wanted to show you for today. That was what everybody had pointed in. So, have a look here at candlecharts.com/mycc. Take a look really at what we do offer, because again, this is, you should become a member. You should join in the group, get connected with people who are trading these markets and understand what we're looking at and why and how we're analyzing it. And you can do the same thing, and it's going to help you become a much better trader, we would think. But you gotta dial in. You gotta listen to the replays, and again, ask questions. And feel free to send your questions in if you haven't been able to join, or even afterwards. We're happy to lend a hand. And that's why we've got the Traders Network as well, where you can ask your questions, see what other traders think, post your strategy, have other people talk about it. And that's what it's all about. So MyCC stands for the mycandlecharts.com. We're here, and it's only getting better. And the people that are with us really, really enjoy what we teach and our approach as well. So we wish you all a great evening, everybody. Hope you have a great and successful trades going on here. Keep safe, watch your stop losses, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody. And thanks for your comments. Appreciate that. There we go. And I think I've stopped the recording. Yeah, there we go.